Imagine if a man invented a teleportation device that could only teleport agricultural products. No longer would you need refrigerated trucks or even trucks at all. You could just take your combine harvester or whatever and dump your grain straight onto the teleportation pad. This would put the truckers out of business. Now, maybe those truckers would still have some contracts and be able to ride those out, but really the best thing they could do is settle for whatever buyout clause they could get and go find some other work, and for the trucking companies to have a fire sale of their assets and invest in something more profitable, perhaps teleportation devices. This is what's happened to the music industry with the internet. But instead of realizing what was happening and making the proper adjustments, namely getting out of the music industry, they sued. But really it's worse than that, because not only do you have teleporters, but you have replicators. People can very easily replicate the music. Now, if you had replicators for agricultural products, that would be the end of farming. What you would have is people who, out of the love of farming, would have their own little gardens and would make certain type of food crops, and they would name the strawberries that they bred, and would be known as the person who invented this type of strawberry or that type of potato, and they get notoriety and become kind of famous for the kind of crops they made. But anyone could replicate their food. The industrial farms may be able to write out their contracts, but they would see the writing on the wall and would invest in something else. But this is not what the music industry did. They sued and said that you could not replicate their songs even though you had the ability to do so. I can certainly understand their desire to keep what they have, but the world advances, and yes, perhaps according to some laws that you and I never read or agreed to, we are not, quote, allowed, close quote, to copy certain types of data. This is kind of strange. One is allowed to copy words and languages, but not allowed to copy a very long string of zeros and ones? Should you have to pay the offspring 10 cents every time you sing "The Kids Aren't All Right"? If not, well then apparently copying the song's content is not wrong. Verbally, singing the song's content is not wrong. Copying a string of zeros and ones is not wrong. So why is copying a song represented by a string of zeros and ones wrong? Well, perhaps the reason it's wrong is because a song results in someone else not making as much money. So the act of copying the zeros and ones is not wrong. The act of copying the content of the song is not wrong. And the act of broadcasting the song on the radio to millions of people is not wrong. Well, hell, the only thing that seems to be wrong is that copying a song results in someone else not making as much money. So are we to say that the action is wrong because it causes a record label to not make as much money? It's not even theft, because you aren't taking anything away from them. You're not taking away the data. You're not taking away the sound. Now, if you feel in your heart of hearts that the music industry deserves its profits, that's fine. That is your preference. And if enough people feel this way, if enough people believe that the creators of the valued information, like songs, should be entitled to some money for it, then they can donate or ostracize those who pirate songs, or who copy songs. There's nothing innately moral or immoral about copying songs, just as there's nothing innately moral or immoral about replicating food someone else invented. The laws against it are nothing more than record labels trying to cost shift enforcement of their guild onto you. Practically, pirating songs shouldn't happen very much. I pretty much know how to get any song I want for free off the net. If I really want a song and I don't want to pay, I can get it. But if there was a service where I could pay like 10 cents a song and it all went to the band and upkeep for the site, I would use that. Because, I could get it for free, but it's a pain. Anyone who uses Kazaa or LimeWire knows what I'm talking about. It's a pain to download it, and torrents are just ugh. If NoFX had a site where I could pay 10 cents a song and it all went to the band, I'd get their songs from there, and it would almost certainly have fast downloads and no spyware. Yeah, I'd pay 10 cents for that. This is less than the buck a song that CDs went for, but you know what? That's what happens when teleporters and replicators get invented. Sorry, you don't have a right to a buck a song. You don't have a right to charge for music at the monopoly rate, which is what record labels more or less were able to do. And if some asshole started his own song selling fast and clean NoFX song downloads, then I guess we would see just how much brand loyalty NoFX had. We would see if they were worth 5 cents, maybe more like 50 cents for so many songs. And for the record label, good night. The record label is the trucker in a world with teleportation devices. And what's worse is that he tried to use the state to enforce his monopoly on a certain type of data. And who pays for the state? Why, you and me, of course. And so record labels tried to use you to enforce their monopoly against you. They tried to get you to pay for the enforcement of their monopoly on a certain type of data against you. I haven't regularly listened to commercial bands in a long time. I still have some old punk rock CDs, but the idea that music will die when you can't get paid as much for it is just silly. I personally have more of a choice in music and more exposure as a result of the internet and file sharing than ever before. We have technology, and the only people who are losing are the people who are attached to obsolete technology. And they are trying to use the guns, which you paid for with your taxes, to prevent you from benefiting from the new technology, and it doesn't even help the bands. Okay, the bands would be far better off if they just set up their own sites. Customer loyalty is with the musician, not the record label. It's with the farmer, not the trucker. The producer, not the middleman.
Kick back, watch it crumble. See the drowning, watch the fall. I feel just terrible about it. That's sarcasm. Let it burn. Gonna make a joke when it falls apart. I'm gonna rain my glass upon my heart. Then someone shouts, that's what they get. For all the years of hit and run, for all the pitch bump on VH1, where did all their money go? Don't we all know? Parasitic music industry. As it destroys itself, we'll show them how it's supposed to be. Music created from devotion, not ambition, not for fame. Zero people are exploited. There are no tricks up our sleeve. We're gonna fight against the recipe. We're gonna kill the 7-record deal. Make records that have more than 100 songs. Well, dinosaurs will slowly die, and I do believe no one will cry. I'm just fucking glad I'm gonna be there to watch it fall. Prehistoric music industry. 3 feet in the gray or tar. Extinction never felt so good. Sadly mistaken. Time has come for evolution. Fuck illusion. Kill the 5.